Bestseller by O. Henry. Today we're going to discuss the summary of the lesson. Here in Bestseller, O. Henry describes quite an interesting character, that is John A. Pescud, a traveling salesman. First is John, who is a traveling salesman, for the plate glass company. Pescud appears to be just the kind of the character that is so commonly found in the bestseller, like the Rose Lady and the Trevelyan. He criticized bestseller as they are far removed from reality and real life. The heroes, scene, and characters produce a false world of romance and idealism. Ironically, John A. Pescud does exactly the same what he opposed and criticized in the bestseller. He is another Trevelyan who tries to sell his romantic story and ultimately marries his princess, Jessie. The narrator's last words are quite meaningful. Good luck to you, Trevelyan, and may you get the pitchiness for your princess. Now, discussing the chapter point wise. First is first that how the narrator meets John Pescud. One day last summer, the narrator was traveling in a chair car. He was going to Pittsburgh on business. His attention was drawn toward the bald, spotted head, and he was Johnny Pescud of Pittsburgh. He was a traveling salesman for a paid-glass company. He had an old acquaintance whom he had not seen in 2 years. Suddenly he saw him hurling one of the best-selling novel, that is The Rose Lady and the Revenant, to the floor. John was a small man with a wide smile. During their last meeting, they merely talked only on the local topic and departed. But now, they were talking, they were getting more introduced to each other, were getting to know more about each other, and then John was going to get off at the cooktown. Then, second, we'll discuss the Pescud's view on bestsellers. John Pescud was quick to express his opinion on bestsellers. He considered that they are far removed from reality. In bestsellers, often an American hero falls in love with a royal princess from Europe, or sometimes you also find that the girl is from the poor family and the boy from the rich family, and this is what is the common storyline we find in the love story. So she was traveling under an alias. The hero follows her to her father kingdom or principality, you can say. All bestsellers are alike, same storyline. But people in real life are different. They generally hunt up somebody in their own station. A fellow usually picks up a girl who went to the same high school or something like that. In the Rose Lady and Trevelyan, the hero Trevelyan's scenes and characters are not considered with reality and life. This is what was not liked by him. Then the fiction writer should not mix the Turkish pashas and the Vermont farmers or the Cincinnati agent with the Rajas of India. These are a few examples given by him, that this is what does not has been seen in the real life, and this is what should not be there in the storyline as well. Now, the Pescud's meeting with his affinity, that is Jesse. He discussed the same with the narrator. Pescud told that he was getting on well in the life. He had had his salary raised twice since they met last time. He got a commission, bought real estate, and was in a line of general prosperity. Then he told the narrator about the marriage with Jessie. John told that he was going to Cincinnati about 18 months ago, and he came across the finest looking girl. She was the kind of girl who could be a life partner. She was reading a book. She changed the car at Cincinnati and took the sleeper to Louisville. There she bought another ticket, went to the Frampton and Lexington. He continuously kept the track of her. He had a hard time keeping up with her. He contrived to keep out of her sight as much as he could, but he never lost track of her. She got off at the station, which was away from the Virginia. An old, tall man, looking as proud as Julius Caesar, who was a great warrior, was there to meet her, and that was the father of the girl. He followed them. They went to the gate at the top of the hill. Up there, in the biggest grove, was a mansion as big as the capital of Washington. It looked like the governor's mansion, but it was the house of that lady. In the village he stayed, he here stands for Pescado. In this, in the village, in the village he stayed at the Bayview house. He came to know that Colonel Alien, the biggest man of the finest quality of Virginia, lived there, and they were the oldest family in the state. Next is Pescad meets Jesse. On the third day, he caught a young lady walking in the front yard of the mansion. John told her that he was from Pittsburgh. Jessie told John Prescott that she was aware of all the activities and the way he followed her. John told her why he had come there and told her everything about himself. This shows his honesty. She smiled and blushed a little. She told that she had never had anyone talk like this to her before. Then at last a kind of proud, serious look came at her face. She turned and pointed a finger at the big house. The alien had lived there for 100 years. They were a proud family. The mansion had 50 rooms. The ceiling in the ballroom were 28 feet high. These were the descriptions she had given to the Prescott. Her father was a lineal descendant or a belted earl. She must not talk to him as they had not been introduced. She told John that her father would never allow their meeting. She should not try to meet him. Then Prescott decided to meet her father. The next morning at 11 sharp, John rang the doorbell. An old man of 80 showed up, and Prescott gave his business card and told him that he wanted to see the colonel. This was the only way he found appropriate to get into the house. He was shown in, and then the colonel alien came in for about 9 seconds. John was nervous, but soon got his nerves back. He told the old man why he was there. He also told him how he followed his daughter from Cincinnati. He told him about his job, his salary and prospects, and his little code of living. They talked for 2 hours. All he asked of was to give him a chance. The old man laughed and related many anecdotes and numerous occurrences. He also told Pescud a fox hunting story. 2 evenings later, he got a chance to meet Jessie alone. Coketown had come, and Prescott told the narrator that he married Jessie a year ago. He built a house in the East End. The belted man, the colonel, was also there waiting at the gate to her to get to hear any news story. The narrator asked Pegdad why he was getting off at such a place where he could get no business. Johnny Prescott told that when they were coming from a little trip to Philadelphia, Jesse saw some bitterness in a pot. Bitterness is a type of a flower in one of those windows in Coketown. So he thought he would drop off there for a night. He could uh, uh, he could dig up some of the cuttings of blossom for her. John got down, and the train moved forward. Good luck to you, Trevelyan, said the narrator, and may you get the bitterness for your princess. Get luck, Trevelyan. Why? Because as we know, the John A. Prescott was totally against the story of the bestseller. That is, the storyline are always the same of the love story, but he himself had the same story in his personal life.